Quick one before we get started. I'm hosting a CEO bootcamp on April 16th. Click the link in the show note and join us. It's 1 hour. It's me and Shaan Puri. We're going to go over delegation. We're going to go over hiring. We're going to go over planning, and we're going to go over the things you need to be doing to grow your business. Don't miss it. Link in the show note, April 16th, CEO bootcamp. It is free.
Hello. Let's talk about a common misconception. I'll tell you right now that there is no bad place in America to be in the home service businesses. If you think of cleaning, maintaining, building, doing anything to our physical world, there's a massive shortage of these people. There's no bad place to be an electrician. There's no bad place to be a plumber. There's no bad place to be a carpenter, a sidewalk cleaner, a grass cutter, a car detailer. You name it. You name the place in America, and I'll tell you right now that there's no bad place. But you hear a lot of rhetoric, and one of my really good friends, Jason Richards, posted a tweet, and I'm going to challenge it just for the sake of challenging it because I have experienced this firsthand. My company does business. We have a self-storage management company. We have 50 self-storage facilities. We are everywhere from Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee coming soon, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, North Carolina. You hear often that living in a business-friendly state is an advantage. Living in a place that has low regulation, a lot of labor available, a very open government to businesses. They're pro-development. They're not going to make you jump through a bunch of hoops to start a company. That it's easier to do business. And so people say choose your location accordingly. Choose the place that you live and the place that you decide to do business accordingly to where it is easy to do business. And I'm going to challenge that right now. Because there's no better place to make money than a hard to do business place. The opportunities are in the high friction areas. I'll tell you that right now. And I have several things to say about this. When you look at why tech startups get so much talent, it's because that's where the money flows. That's what people are excited about. If you look at where real wealth is made in this country, it's in small, boring, simple, not new businesses. I mean, this is my whole shtick. You've heard me talk about this for almost 300 episodes now. But the capital flows in one direction. The talent flows in one direction. Everybody tries to go to the easiest location. Every entrepreneur is lazy. Every entrepreneur wants the best opportunity. Every entrepreneur is trying to make a decision on what business they're going to start, where they're going to operate. And a lot of them choose the easiest path. I'm no different. I'm going to argue, I'm going to tell you right now that the real opportunities are in the hard path. The real opportunities lie where there are challenges, where it's difficult, where it's tough, where it's not easy. And the opportunities are there because nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do the hard stuff. So when you talk about launching a company in New York City, a service company in New York City, most entrepreneurs would say, why would I ever do that? It's so hard, all the regulation. You got to pay $30 to get across the George Washington Bridge. All these reasons why people don't do business in an area. Those are the same reasons why, in my opinion, it's a pretty good opportunity. When all the entrepreneurs look one direction, when everybody looks one way, when everybody thinks about something the same way, I like to look the other way. So I'll tell you right now that it is way harder to hire a contractor to do something at one of our storage facilities in Ithaca, New York, than it is in Asheville, North Carolina, or rural Georgia. A business-friendly government makes it very friendly and business-friendly for your competitors. It attracts entrepreneurs. It makes business flow easier. I'll tell you right now that the government can be your biggest moat. And this is going to sound really radical, and I don't know that I fully agree with this, but it's a very good point that's very worth you considering and thinking about. And I'll tell you right now that high cost of living cities, the second part of what I'm going to tell you, can be an even better opportunity. All the business flows one direction. You can find opportunities in the other areas. It's a lot harder for us to find staff and get work done in not business-friendly states. New York is a lot harder to find a snowplow guy and a pest control company than it is to find a pest control company and a gravel company in Georgia. There are more companies available. So as the people move south, as people go to the Sun Belt, as the Sun Belt areas have more immigration and cheaper housing and more affordable workers, it gets easier to do business. And that can be a tremendous opportunity for you. It's why it's such a beautiful thing that if you start a company that gets some success and gets some initial momentum and starts to make some money, you can make massive amounts of money and you can be very, very successful in non-business friendly states. And it's really, really hard for your competitors to launch businesses in not business friendly states. Think about Los Angeles multifamily, for example. I'm going back to real estate. The government is the best friend of anybody who owns real estate in LA, because the government's not going to let anybody else build real estate in LA. Whereas Athens, Georgia, we have development after development after development of high density housing. Why do you think that is? Because it's easier to do business here. There are less barriers to entry in Houston, Texas, where there is no zoning, and they can build anything wherever they want, than there is in an extremely difficult zoning area like upstate New York. So I'll just say that a business-friendly city and living and working in a business-friendly state makes it easier on your competitors as well. Hard to do business equals barriers to enter. So an unfriendly business environment is where a serious amount of money can be made by the folks who know what they're doing. It's the typical story of the rich getting richer because they know how to cut through the red tape. They know how to do business. Building something, doing something in New York City is virtually impossible. Whereas in about 3 weeks, I could get a building permit in Athens, Georgia to build something. It's the truth. And another thing is the labor market. Everybody says, I don't want to do business in a high cost of living city because the labor market is so difficult. It's really hard to find labor. It's hard for everybody to find labor. And when it's hard for everybody to find labor, only the best really thrive. And there's a shortage of these laborers and you can charge whatever you want. So while Athens, Georgia, I pay $100 for 3 immigrants to show up to my house and clean my entire house. $100. They're here for an hour and a half, 3 of them. That same service in upstate New York is $400. I call around pressure washing companies. They can book me the next day here in Athens, Georgia, a growing town that all the investment dollars are flowing. They can book it the next day. 5 self-storage facilities in Metro Athens, Georgia got approved for development in the last 2 years. It is virtually impossible to get a self-storage development approved in Ithaca, New York. So these dying towns, these areas where it's really hard to do business, this can create a moat around your company and you can do really, really well. Our lawn care company in upstate New York and in Erie, Pennsylvania, they charge us out the nose for the work that they do. Whereas in Ellijay, Georgia, and Milledgeville, Georgia, and Trenton, Georgia, there are 20 guys running around with trucks and there's a lot of Latino immigrants, and you can find these services a lot cheaper and a lot better and a lot easier. So if I were starting a home service company, I would rush right to the highest cost of living area in America. I would do the work to cut that red tape. I would go through the hurdles to make those hires, and I would make a tremendous amount of money because of the barriers to enter that are in place against my competitors. That's the bottom line. So when it comes to the labor crisis, the high cost of living areas, there are no people to work. That's not true. There are people to work. How does Lowe's and Home Depot, which has 4 locations in Metro Boston, how does Home Depot staff 300 employees full-time per store? if there's nobody to work. It's just not true. There are people to work. You have to pay them more, and you have to work your butt off to find them and keep them and retain them. And you have to build a people machine, because in Boston, there's not a customer problem, there's a people problem. In Athens, Georgia, there's not a people problem, there's a customer problem. Everybody's actually doing some marketing down here. You got to do some work to get customers in a service business down here. In Boston, you don't have to market. All you have to have is a Google My Business location, and your phone is going to ring off the hook, and people are going to pay whatever you want them to pay to go to their house and do some work. That's why it's so high cost. It's so high cost because these companies that are actually willing to do the work to cut through the government BS are making a killing. So yes, there's nuance here. And yes, there are very many advantages to doing business in a pro-business friendly city, county, state market. There's also a lot of advantages to doing business where it's not a business friendly environment. And if you can build that machine, the government will protect you, the local economy will protect you, and you will have a cash creating business that is very, very healthy and a great opportunity.
Hey guys, I have big news. I recently revamped my sales and customer service team at my self-storage company using folks in South Africa. Listen to this English accent.
Hi there, my name is Anton and I'm a sales professional from Gqeberha or Port Elizabeth, which is in the eastern province of South Africa. I've been in sales for about 8 years now with experience in hardware sales with some of the leading brands in the world, such as Canon, Panasonic, and more recently Red Bull.
Okay, now the surprising part. The person you just listened to is available for hire right now, and they're asking $9 an hour. If you want an introduction, if you want to hire this person into your business or at least interview them, send me an email, nick@sweatystartup.com, and I can make an introduction and offer you $1,000 off the recruiting fee. nick@sweatystartup.com.